What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another amazing episode of Living Real TV. I'm Karissa Adkins.
I'm Clara Capano.
And we are here to help you boss up and find clarity in the middle of life's busyness. And today we are talking all about giving ourselves permission to be total badasses when it comes to wealth, health, finances, everything, right? So I'm so excited for today's.
You know, it is so incredible. I mean, first of all, the outpouring of women who want to be on the show to share. Yeah. But today, again, talking about the idea of owning our own finances and giving ourselves permission to unlock wealth. Yeah. It's, you know, it's amazing how many people have limiting beliefs and put their own, you know, limitations on their earning. And, you know, going back to those feelings of being enough and how we're going to do it. So I'm really excited because I just think we all have unlimited potential inside of us to create whatever it is that we want.
Yeah. And when I think wealth, I think Brittany Young, right? Like I do. I think if someone was like really wanting to go to that next level and create, you know, find herself, make peace with it, and then make a crap ton of money, like I automatically think billionaire Brittany. So today we're gonna have
billionaire Brittany here with us. Yes. And you know, before we do that though, we have to go ahead and talk about, you know, abundance in our own backyard as far as our dear friend Dion, who is over there. He's gonna be making a very unique cocktail for us today. Yes, you.
Dion, what you got for us today?
Well, I have a couple of cocktails because I know Brittany does not like alcohol. One, I am going to do a non-alcoholic bee's knees, which is one of the classics. And the second one is an original that I made up about 3 months ago, and I call it Buried in Time. So it is a time-based honey, a blueberry and strawberry kombucha, and then we use Buffalo Trace for our Buried in Time. And then our bee's knees is going to be a non-alcoholic gin, a time-based honey, and then a lemon juice. Well, let's get started, ladies.
I'm excited.
How do you even make a non-alcoholic gin?
Girlfriend, there are certain secrets I can't even tell you.
Some you gotta just keep locked down.
I guess
So all of these cocktails start out with Collins bar sugar and foaming agent. So this will give them this really frothy top and a little bit of a mouthfeel. It's kind of like my garnish. And then we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna start out with our honey. And they all get about 75 ounces of honey.
You know, we had earlier on the season, we had that hot tea drink with honey. I remember that. And I normally, because I don't like honey, but yeah, that was fantastic.
That was amazing.
So now I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then they all get lemon juice. Fresh squeezed, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
And is the honey from bees in your own backyard?
No, it's actually, so I don't know if you guys remember last season we did a modern matriarch cocktail.
Oh yeah.
Well, they branched out and now they actually have they're beekeepers.
Okay.
They're gonna start making mead. So then,
mead, okay, yeah, which is a lot of.
for the two berries, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of kombucha. Now
Okay,
this
so
is
that's interesting because I've never seen kombucha in a cocktail.
it's coming.
Beer.
I am gonna make it a thing if
Okay.
My gut says thank you.
What was the inspiration for this drink?
You know, honestly, it was a gut thing. So I started making kombucha, and then I realized it's kind of got a bit of a vinegary flavor to it. And I was like, shrubs are vinegary. So I can make shrub out of kombucha. All I got to do is let it sit a couple of extra days, and then it, you know, the acidity level raises in it, and it makes a perfect shrub without using actual vinegar and like melting myself on the inside.
I love it.
He's like a scientist.
It really is. I mean, you can hear, you know, when you have a call with a woman, you can hear all these ideas and strategies to start giving her. He gets an idea and he's like, oh, I can make like, like it's just, we're also.
It really is an art.
Unique.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Matrix? Do you remember the part where Neo goes, I know Kung Fu? Every time I think of a drink, I'm like, I know Kung Fu. No, anyway.
I know alcohol.
So we're gonna go ahead and shake the bee's knees really quick.
Okay.
So with this bar sugar, you want to give it a really vigorous shake.
So you get to work out in. Like literally.
Yeah, he's like
20
serious
times.
over there.
And I forgot my strainer. Be right back.
Well, you know, stuff happens, and that's. I love the fact that he's just on the fly, right? Like, so today, he found out that Brittany's not a huge fan of alcohol, and so he's like, "I got you, girl," and so he like puts together.
Well, we're talking about living real, and this is real life. Sometimes we forget the strainer, and we just have to go with it as it comes. And you know what? Everything always turns out just fine.
It's a-okay. Like literally, I love that he's so quick too.
Yes.
Look at him. It's like Superman.
I know.
Oh, was I gone? Just gonna give that guy a nice little strain.
The froth.
I really like that. Yeah. So that's the bee's knees.
This is the bee's knees.
Okay.
Brittany's the bee's knees.
Billionaire Brittany and the bee's knees.
Brittany is the bee's knees.
Get it.
That's how those arms are getting all fit over there.
See it. It's like hiding behind
I
all
know.
the.
I'm like, what is there? What is there?
Oh, it's red. Oh yeah, because the kombucha was red. Oh, it's like living real and BossUp babes. Have you seen an orange one? For clarity.
Yeah. And I love the glasses. Look how pretty those are.
So pretty.
Very elegant.
So I live in thrift stores. I am always on the look for new glassware.
These you found in a thrift store? Love it.
The thing is, they came for like 99 cents a piece, and I was like, mine.
Mine.
So I'm not kidding you. I went into this thrift store. They had about 5 rows of glasses. I walk over to the woman in the front, and I'm like, I'm about to buy you out. And she goes, which ones do you want? And I was like, all of them.
Every single one.
Yes. All right. Well, cheers, ladies.
Yes.
Cheers to wealth and growth. We can't cheer. I'm like,
I know.
Here we go. Oh, that is so yummy.
It is so good. I
don't even
can't
taste
like
alcohol,
put my
actually.
finger on like the actual taste, but it's so good.
It is. What kind of? Do you remember what kind of kombucha it was? It was like berry.
Berry. I mean, you definitely taste the berry, like a mixed berry.
Yeah, it's so
Really
good. Cool. Yum, yum, yum. Well, Dion, that may not have been his finest, cocktail, but it tastes delicious.
The end
And
result's
that's all
pretty good.
that I care about.
Yeah.
Oh, well, goodness, you guys, we are really, really stoked to really dive into the conversation today.
What's our question of the day?
Yeah, but before I get into that, that's where I was going. But I just wanted to thank Brittany, for being on our show and for coming back. You got to be a part of the panel where we talked all things business and strategies, and we loved you so much. So we definitely were like, we got to have Brittany back. We got to have Brittany back. So anyways, well, you know, right, that we start every episode off with a kind of a random question, get the party started card. And the question today is, what kind of advice on life would I give my younger self? So with that, we'll start with Clara first.
What's coming to mind for me is following your voice. I know when I was younger, my goal, and I remember saying to myself, I want to go into companies and teach them how to communicate better.
No?
So that they could have better connections with their clients and everything. And so many people told me, oh, that doesn't exist. Nobody would pay you for that. So I kind of left that thought and then went on a more safe route of, oh, I'll go to law school, I'll do something like that. Whereas now that's exactly where I am again, and I should have trusted my own instincts. So I think just, you know what's best for you, so listen to your own internal voice. So yeah. Brittany, what about you?
But at what age would you have gone back to?
Well, that was probably about 16, 17.
Okay. And would your 16 or 17-year-old self listen to that piece of advice?
I totally would listen to me.
Oh, okay, okay.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Brittany?
I'm going to start at the age of 9.
Okay.
Say no.
Say no.
Learn to say no.
Absolutely.
Stop people pleasing. Don't be a yes person. It's okay to have discernment.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's so powerful to take that control back for yourself and to not feel guilty. You know, so many people feel guilty about saying no, and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
Yeah, it's a simple statement. Why is it so hard to do? Oh, let's see. I probably would have to start at like age 6, and the advice would be the same throughout all the years: is to just don't stress and trust the process. Because even as a gymnast, right? Like there's just so much pressure as an athlete, and just feeling like I had to be on the smile, the hands, everything. That I forgot to trust myself. I forgot to trust the process. And so, yeah, whether it's 6, 10, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, I'm constantly reminding myself, Karissa, just let it go, trust the process, because you can't, like, what you want is bigger than you. You're going to have to lean into something bigger. So it's not going to work, but
yeah.
Cool.
I love those. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. We're talking today a lot about, building wealth, and especially, as a woman, some of the things that we can do. So Brittany, I would love to just learn a little bit more about you. How did you even find your path to step into this, to be able to know that your gift was in helping women, especially women in male-dominated industries, grow their wealth and their mindset around it?
So, where do I start? I was one of those women. My background is in corporate sales and marketing. I spent 15 years in the pharmaceutical industry, selling drugs and doing them. And then I moved over to oil and gas, which is definitely male dominated.
Yes.
I was one of the very few women that was out there selling into that industry. And it came to the point where I was just done. I couldn't do it anymore. And I started looking around going, this is not the life that I chose for myself. I deserve more. I desire more. I'm worthy of more. What is more? And so I began my company in 2017, and I actually started out in the fitness industry.
Okay.
So left corporate, decided to become a personal trainer, got my health and wellness certification, and was on my way to become a licensed health coach. But something inside of me said, there is more, and continue going and growing. And in 2018, I started actually contracting with hospitals. It's really what I wanted to do. When I was a kid, I wanted to become a nurse. So I thought, oh, this is very similar. I'm in the helping profession, but higher power, universe, whatever you want to call it, said, no, sweetie, there's more. And in June of 18, I met my husband, and we started having these conversations of what is more. And he said, you did sales, you did marketing, you know business. Hello, ding, ding, ding. So the light bulb finally went off in 2019 when we
had to plug you up.
When we got engaged, and then we were starting to plan our wedding, and I made the move. I made the switch over from fitness, which is near and dear to my heart. So the reason why we're having non-alcoholic beverages is because I'm in recovery. I've been in recovery for 8.5 years, and that saved my life. Fitness saved my life. It saved my body, my self-worth, everything. And so I owe my life to the gym, and I would never trade that for the world. but there was something inside of me that said, go for more, go bigger, go home, you know, and business was it. So why not focus on the women that I used to be? But my biggest problem, Clara, was anger. So I used to take my anger out at the gym, out on the weights. And when I got pregnant, I was really struggling to lift. I was having a lot of difficulty. So that anger actually turned inward.
Oh, wow.
And the more women that I started meeting that were just like me, because our clients are a mirror reflection of either where we were or where we're going, that anger was still there. So I was trying to figure out, how do I deal with this?
What was it? I don't know if you even know this, but like, what was making you angry?
That's a great question. I am discovering that now. Subconscious beliefs that were holding me back from creating the reality that I truly desired and knew that I was worthy of. Yeah. So stopping myself. And I saw all these other women doing the thing, making the money and helping and being of service. And I was like, why not me? And how do I stand out? How do I branch out? What does Brittany's life look like? And as a kid, my father would always say, you're going to have to work harder than everybody else, and because you're not the smartest one in the room. So I took that to heart, and I said, you know what, mister? I'm going to get back at you for that, and I'm going to create my own genius, my own zone of where I belong. And then I'm going to have the following. I'm going to have the people come to me, not the other way around.
I love how you took ownership of that, because that was your story for so long, and how you finally said, no, I'm not going to, feed into that. I'm going to rewrite my own script. I'm going to rewrite my story. Because I think so many times, as people in general, but especially women, we do sit back and we're like, everybody else is doing it. We think it's too late. We think, what is it that we have to offer? Why would someone listen to me over somebody else? And we have that sort of, again, resentment. Whereas if we really just dig in and, again, get clear on what we bring to the table, but again, just decide that we're going to make it happen.
Well, and, we see a lot with, and what Brittany just said is, this is someone who told her this, right? You're not gonna, do this. You're gonna have to work even harder. The intention may have been good, who knows, right? But that's the story that stuck with you for a long, long time. And if you're wanting to change your life, change your money, change your story about anything, your health, it really does come down to who you are, where these beliefs started from. So the fact that she can even identify, this was the moment, and now we can start to rewire and rewrite that is not the identity you have to be attached to. We don't have to hustle and work harder than men or anyone. We can just do us, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. That takes years to figure that out. Did you figure that out on your own, or were you working with a coach, or kind of that
Lots
story?
of practice, lots of therapy, time back at the gym, and being around certain like-minded people that were going out and doing the things. And you are that old saying of, you are the person who you spend with, I'm going to butcher it, but the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with. And I started looking around and going, I need to switch up my circle.
I did the same thing. It's so interesting. I was at dinner one time and going around the circle, and I'm like, she's broken, miserable. She's broken, miserable. And I was like, ooh, I need a different table.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, again, not the money. It was, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be miserable anymore. I want, again, to take that ownership back and to become more.
Sure. I think every once in a while I'll catch myself in that anger, and now I know how to pull myself back and go to my husband, you know what, Tim? I need a break. I need a breath. I'm going to go step outside, or I'm going to go cry. And that vulnerability piece is so key for me, not just as a business owner, but as a wife, as a friend, as a mother. For me to be able to show my child that I can have feelings. They don't have to bury those deep inside. It's beautiful, and I'm able to share that experience with her, so that I am breaking that generational curse, because I didn't get that as a kid.
Yeah.
It's not cool to cry.
Yeah,
and
it's not. Well, and especially again, women in male-dominated fields. I think of that movie A League of Their Own when they're playing baseball. There's no crying in baseball. So again, knowing that you wanted to work sort of where you used to live, and those are kind of how you worked with it. Did you find that in general women were receptive to wanting help to grow, to let go of their anger, or doing that, or did you find resistance, being that?
Hell no, there was total resistance. Like, who are you to say that I'm dealing with these emotions? And that wall was completely up. But it's almost like having a pinched nerve, right? Have you ever had a pinched nerve or sciatic pain? It's like that. And you have to get to the root cause. What's really making you angry? What's really holding you back from stop hitting the glass ceiling, but break through that ceiling? Because so many of us are not in our potential, not just our financial full potential, but life, our health, our well-being, even in our marriages. It's like, I'll stay comfortable. And to me, that's very middle-class mindset. I'm not middle-class mindset. I'm a millionaire, billionaire mindset. So how do I break that ceiling of comfortability and realize that because I'm rich, I'll strive for rich comfortable, right? Not middle comfortable, but rich comfortable.
There's a really great TED Talk, and it's on happiness. It's done by a gentleman named Sean Acor, and what he talks about is so many of us strive to be quote unquote normal, which is just, again, average. And it's kind of similar. It's that mindset of, I don't want to just be average, and it's not putting anybody else down. It's, again, this is what I want for me. And I think you're absolutely right. It's that mindset of, I can achieve more and I'm worthy of more. And I deserve more, so that you can, again, put yourself in a position to not just surround yourself with others, but to then open yourself up to allow it to come to you.
And I'm going to go get it.
Yes. Make it happen.
Because you can't you can think about it a lot, and I do think that thoughts create the reality eventually. Yes, and I love manifesting, but without the action, without the hunger, without the drive, I would still be 213 sitting on a couch feeling sorry for my ass. So,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, if you don't like something about your life, change it. Take that ownership, and it sounds like you did. I mean, you've done it in multiple ways with overcoming that, the sobriety now, and just you stepping away from that hustling life and now doing what you love to do, helping other women now break free, is really, really awesome. That's why we do the work that we do.
Absolutely. No kidding. So just, again,
cool.
Taking the ownership of it and just making that decision to just decide and say, I'm going bigger, no matter what.
And I don't care what people think about it, it really is. Going from corporate to coach, they were like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I don't really know. And it was, they were like, but you have such a nice, comfortable job. You have a great job. They have lots of benefits. There's a car, there's phones, there's everything over here. Why the heck would you leave?
More?
And I was like, why wouldn't I want more? Are you kidding me? I'm meant for more. I don't know what it is yet. I don't even think I've reached my potential.
Exactly.
I'm 37, baby. I got a lot of years ahead.
Absolutely.
But one of these days I'm going to work with Brittany here, because I'm I want to go more. I want to go bigger, right?
Yeah. So. Well, I can't wait to continue this conversation. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some strategies. And I know that you have sort of a system and a model that you use with your clients. So I can't wait to dive into that. So come back and join us in our second half of the show, where we dive deeper with billionaire Brittany.
Hi, I'm Clara Capano with Capano Speaking and Training, and I am here to get you clarity. As the strategist for the Smart Woman, I've spent over 20 years working with women in business, helping them to recreate what success looks like for them, to get them off that hamster wheel and to get them into running a purpose-driven business. When you work with me, you're going to find real strategies that are going to help you gain immediate traction in both your personal and professional life. So follow me and find out all you need to get you clarity at claracapano.com.
Hey, you guys, we are back with part 2 of talking all about wealth and really giving ourselves permission to go bigger, dream bigger, make more, right? And it really does come down to what Brittany here, she is our billionaire expert here, but she comes down to a permission process. And I'm so excited. Like this, the name, like give yourself permission to like go bigger is like, what?
I know. So, when I heard that and I heard about this permission process, it piqued my interest so much because I think that you're absolutely right. Too many of us do not give ourselves permission. So I cannot wait to hear more about this process and how you use it to unlock women.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us what this process looks like, and you know, some strategies on how to implement this process, maybe.
Sure. So it's a blend between emotional strategy as well as business and wealth strategies. So we'll start with the emotional piece.
Okay.
Because I think that that's really the foundation of where our beliefs start.
Okay.
And the way I'll break it down very simply. You have your thought, whether it's positive or negative. Then you have a feeling.
Okay.
Right? So give me a feeling.
Anger.
Right. So what is the thought that you have associated with anger?
Negativity, that it's, maybe limiting me. So.
What if we were
the thought?
Right. What's your personal belief around anger?
That's bad. It's not productive.
Right. So the way I like diving into this is really looking at, from an NLP perspective, your subconscious belief. So why is anger bad for Clara? Why is anger bad for Karissa? What happened to you? At what point? What is that root cause? Because anger really is a surface level emotion. So it's at the top. So what's underneath the anger? What's underneath that? What's underneath that? And usually what it stems down to is either I'm not good enough or I don't feel safe. So it's usually a core belief of a woman, right?
Is anger, do you see, were you talking specifically with anger, or at the end of the day, most women don't believe they're enough?
Most women don't believe that they're enough.
Okay.
And they also don't believe that they can trust themselves, therefore they don't feel safe.
Okay.
So the way the permission process works is we look at anger, right, and we extract it. And I go from, okay, you're angry, you're trying to control everything. So that's step one in the process. You're trying to control every aspect of either your own life, somebody else's, or your business, right? And then from that anger, can we start to take a look at where that stemmed from? From there, step 2, I call annihilation. So we're going to annihilate the anger by what else? Getting vulnerable.
Okay.
So the strategy behind getting vulnerable could be punching a pillow, going to a kickboxing class. My favorite is crying and screaming and getting on all fours in my bed and just letting my pillow or my comforter have it, right?
Yeah.
From the vulnerability, we're able to create passion. So that's step 3, right? So follow with me, right? Anger to annihilate that feeling, to then getting really vulnerable with the feeling. And then can we create passion from our feeling, from that anger? Yeah?
Like, and passion in a good way this time.
Passion in a positive way? Yeah. So if we're looking at your business, Clara, tell me what you're passionate about in your business.
Just helping women take more control of their time, helping them create a path to success that's going to work specifically for them, teaching them how to set healthy boundaries and to, again, stand up for themselves.
Right. So the anger doesn't get directed out towards anybody. It also doesn't get directed in. It goes somewhere else. And then if you're speaking to a client, and let's say you just got really vulnerable with yourself, you're able to help them see that you're very passionate about them. From passion, we create. So this is a very masculine structure of the way I view energy, the way I view emotion. Is in the masculine structure, it starts at rage. Black and white thinking, black and white seeing, to then the anger, to then the passion, to then creation. So emotional strategy for me is very masculine, right? And the reason why we get into our masculine is because we create from that. And from there, when we start to create, what do? We are allowed, we give ourselves that permission, and we allow ourselves to actually accept these parts of us. So in my own story, I started accepting anger as a way of creating, as a way of feeling and fueling that passion, to then start doing different things in my business or my life, or getting myself back into the gym. Once I started accepting that all these parts of me were me and real, I took my power back. And from taking my power back, I started to trust myself again. So I know it seems like, oh, this could be complex the way that I'm trying to explain it, but if I were working with you, I'd break it down very simply. So thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results.
Without divulging names and privacy, can you give an example maybe of a client that you worked with where they came in and how you were able to work this process with them, and then what they were able to achieve from it?
Perfect. Thank you for asking that. So I won't give her name, but when she came to me in December of 2020, working for her dad in her financial firm, the amount of anger and frustration and resentment towards her father, she was hitting that glass ceiling. So she was stuck at 20K months. Couldn't go above, but was going below.
What was keeping her from going to 21, 22, 23, 24?
All those subconscious beliefs of it has to be dad's way. I'm not allowed to have it my way.
Because it was his company.
It's his company. It's his way of doing things. I can't do anything myself. Therefore, I'm not enough.
So her cap number was 20K. When I hit it,
that was it.
That was it. That's
Yep.
all I'm
That was
good
all
for.
she's capable of. That was all that's kind of approved of in her mind.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
And, you know, oftentimes when we look at wealth, it's not just about making that amount of money, it's about keeping it as well. So more money was actually being spent, right? And that was the unfortunate thing that I saw was you can make 20,000, but where's it going? So part of that subconscious belief was, well, if it's dad's way, I have to spend money his way. I have to save money his way, right? So we started extracting all these beliefs. She got angry, she got vulnerable with me. She started deciding and choosing, enough is enough. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. So in April of 2021, she went into his office and said, I quit. I'm no longer working for you. I'm done. Ooh. Guess what happened?
Skyrocketed.
$150,000 month.
Ooh, baby.
From $20,000 to $150,000.
Amazing.
New people were coming to her. People were leaving him and joining her firm.
Wow.
So now she's in the process. We're still working together. She's in the process of creating this all women's wealth boutique. So she is bringing on all these different women advisors. It's a women-run company and servicing women in their finances.
Because she finally said, I can do it my way. I don't have to do it. And I would imagine in this case, it was her father's company, but I would imagine people can feel that way in any company because it's the boss's company, or I'm just a manager or just a team leader, and how they have to, again, understand like their role in it and work with that, whether it's a family-run company or just a company.
And you use a key word, just. I'm just a mom. I'm just an employee. I'm just a personal trainer. F that.
Exactly. Because I try to teach people that regardless of what you're doing, I don't care if you're working at a company and you're running the front desk. You know, some people could say you're just a receptionist, but it's like, no, you're the CEO of that front office. You know, and again, owning that power as I run the show in this area of genius.
Give yourself permission to run that desk. No donuts get by you.
Like you're the gatekeeper, actually. You're the most important person. You're the first one that our customers see. I remember when I was in my corporate job, you know, it didn't just say receptionist on her title. And the minute we went from receptionist to the director of first impressions, she took ownership of that. And I was like, you are the first person someone sees. Your role is more important than mine, than the estimator. Like, you are the first impression of this shop. And that's why, I mean, I took great pride in hiring for that position, because I'm like, this is our person. Like, this is our, like, everything right there. And the switch from I'm just a receptionist that comes in from 7:30 to 5 and checks out was, I own this space. This is my calendar. This is like, I control. And she just shifted that whole identity by a title change. Like, it was crazy.
And I think it's really interesting how you mentioned that for the specific client, how she started going backwards. And I remember that happened to me. I was in a management position, and there was a certain time where it was made very clear to me, I am just the manager, that I don't have any authority or decision-making capabilities. And it did shut me down. And I realized that my level of performance decreased, because why? You know, what's the point? You know, I don't really have any real role in here. And when I decided to leave that and again start kind of what I was doing on my own, and realizing that, oh, I'll bet on myself all day long. You know, the ability to, again, unlock my own potential and grow is incredible.
So your 20K client, right, like where she was a month.
Which, first of all, is good money. Let's talk.
We're not, like, but if you tell me that 150 is possible, I'm like, oh, well, now it's possible.
I want to get there.
Why wouldn't I? Like, I mean, now we can go to the moon, so let's all go to the moon, right? Someone has to lead the way, so it's really cool to hear it. But what were her self-sabotaging, like how, you know, because it's like, it's, to a normal person, if I heard that, I'd be like, well, why not just go out and make one more sale or something? Like, why not break that ceiling? But we do is something that sabotages us and we don't realize it unconsciously, right? With our health, we do that. With our weight, we'll be doing really great, and then we like get sick, right? And I'm like, well, you got sick because something in your body was like, nope, this is uncomfortable now. Like, you don't know what it feels like to be 20 pounds lighter, so let's just come back over to what feels comfortable. Right. So what were some of her limiting beliefs, do you know, or self-sabotaging things that she didn't maybe realize?
Yeah, she didn't feel safe to make that money again. And it was scary. Like, I'm a fraud, right?
So the imposter syndrome.
I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter. This can't be happening. How dare I make this money? And then when Dad found out, it was like, almost shame on you for leaving. You're making more money than I am. How dare you? So she took that responsibility on and said, he's right. How dare I? So in May of that year, her income went back down, but it went to 50, which is still good money. But still. And this year, we're working on her $1 million year. She's already at $500,000. So, you know, that limiting belief of I'm an imposter, I'm a fraud, comes up even when we're going after success. I heard a quote yesterday: success is more challenging than failure.
It is. Yeah.
Because you're constantly trying to strive for more. But here's my ticket to that. Are you celebrating even the lowest win? She wasn't celebrating the 20K months.
None of it?
None of it.
Wow.
Because I have to get there. Our have tos, our justs,
our shoulds.
And I think also in some cases, you know, when we sort of surpass our mentor, you know, that whole mindset of, how dare you do that? I made you. You know, I got you to success. How dare you do better than me? And then again, that takes us back, because then we start feeling the guilt and the shame. And I know there's a lot of people out there who, when they reach a certain limit, they're like, my family has never made more. Nobody I know has made this much money. And then it's that tall poppy syndrome, where again, you know, they feel they have to come down in order to be accepted and loved and enough.
Well, there's a lot of pressure, I'll be honest. Like, I literally just had the first couple of the best months I've ever had in my life. And now all of a sudden you've got kids and husbands. Like, they're like, well, when you're a millionaire, Mom. And I'm like, what if I don't make that? Like, it's this fear of success. I mean, really, I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna go back. And I caught myself, and gosh, I remember I was like, no. Like, thankfully I have so much awareness. Like, I'm so self-aware, but a normal person would not even see that, right? We don't see that. That's why we hire coaches and mentors. because we can't see past what's right here.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I would recommend anybody to call you. I mean, I'm thinking about calling you and helping you work with me. But if there's somebody out there who either isn't ready or just not able to get someone like you to help them, what might be a first step for them to help them sort of out of this cycle?
So there's always books that I could recommend, but I would say learning the awareness is the key to all first steps.
Yeah.
And admitting that you're not wrong, not right, but you're just where you're at. So accept where you're at and be aware that that is your current circumstance, and really understand, like, that's okay, right? It's okay if you're overweight right now. It can change. Should you choose and decide and claim that that can change for you, right? And it's the same with about creating wealth. Can you be aware that there's opportunity out there always? You don't need to stay where you're at. You know, I have a lot of friends that I see from high school and college who became teachers. Nothing wrong with teachers. I love
I couldn't teach. I'm like, thank you for
I am a teacher.
Yeah.
But if you're not striving to be the best teacher, if you're not out there saying, I'm going to teach differently, and I'm going to accept that who I am and the surroundings in which I'm currently in might not be enough for me. I need to go for the next level. So what's the next level of teaching? Maybe I get a master's.
Right.
And if it's not a degree, can I accept where I'm at and then choose differently next time? Right? So I would say start there. And it does begin with that awareness.
It's huge.
And I think that's a great lesson.
You can't fix what you don't know.
Yeah.
It's broke.
But I also think that's a great lesson. And, you know, we're talking a lot about building wealth, but I think we have to also define what does, again, success mean? Because it doesn't always mean more money. I mean, there's people out there, again, that want to be teachers or want to be, you know, police officers or something, and they're never going to make $1 million doing that. But can they be the best in that area? And I think that's a really smart lesson to look at too, is what can I do to make the best of the situation, and what can I do to be at the top of my game in this area?
I'll be honest though, I've never met anyone who doesn't want to make money, because there's something bad about it, right? Like I used to like struggle with the whole money mindset, and I have worked really, really hard in the last, year with that, because I was modeled that you work your butt off, you don't really get anywhere any further, you're still just like getting by, and in order to have great success in your business, that you have to give up time with your family, you have to give up all that stuff. So that is a lot of wiring that I've had to let in and let go and keep, and keep working on. Like, so I'm going to disagree. Like, teachers want to teach because they love it. Yeah. But if you said, oh, you can come teach over here and I'll give you $1 million for doing it, I guarantee almost every teacher would run over and, they're stupid.
Well, definitely. But I think, again, just, I guess what I was trying to mean is, if your industry, if that's what you love, if you have a passion, and again, not to pick on teachers, but if generally they're not going to make $1 million. There's sort of a limit to what they can make. And again, they do it because of the passion. But again, don't limit yourself and say, I'm just going to be a teacher. Again, can I have a specialization? Can I, do these things like, after school curricular activities? Can I, be a part of coaching after school program? So again, I think always just, doing that. And you and I were actually talking at the break that, growing up, you and I both have this, again, there's more. We want to do more. We want to push ourselves to be the best that we can and to, go to our level of greatness, and how people oftentimes think there's something, they make us feel like there's something wrong with us. Yeah. And I remember, in one of the companies that I was working with, the CFO sitting down with me being like, I don't understand. Why can't you just be happy with what you're doing? And I'm like, I am happy with what I'm doing. And I also want to serve in this area, in this area, in this area. And it's so hard for some people to understand that, because I think so many people are okay with living in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
There's 3 key reasons why you're not wealthy.
Ooh, this is good. Okay, lay it on us.
1, blame. Blaming everybody else except for yourself and not taking accountability for you, right? As a recovering alcoholic, that was step number 1. How do I look at my stuff first?
I don't want to look at my stuff.
And of course, I didn't want to look at my stuff. I didn't want to see that I had a problem, right? But that's why you're broke, because you're blaming other people.
Society,
You're
situation,
taking it out on other people.
Yeah.
Step 2, you're justifying. Well, you know, money's not important.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then you're broke. Right? And if you're around those type of people, like we talked about, changing your circle, are these people doing that? Are they saying, well, money's not important to you, you know, you're just the teacher, right?
Or I'm not motivated by money. I hear that a lot.
I'm not motivated by it. It doesn't drive me. You're broke. Step 3, want to take a guess at what it might be?
Let's see. Okay, so we had
blame,
and then if you hang out with people, and then probably not willing to be vulnerable with
Complaining.
Oh, the complainers.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I can't do that this weekend. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
So the excuses and the complaining.
Yeah, or look at Jim driving the Ferrari, like,
Must be nice
must
for
be
Jim.
nice. Yeah.
Okay, so we got, I'm sorry, blame. What was the second one again?
Justification.
Justification, and then complaining.
And on a sales call, everyone is on board until you give them the price. And then it's, well, I actually live in a really expensive place, and it's, I just can't afford, like, all the stories then come up, and you can see that. And you just kind of want to be like, do you hear yourself? Like, you're choosing to stay in your pain.
Yep.
You're choosing it.
Choosing it.
But recognize that you make excuses for everything. I literally had a potential client. It went south real quick when I was like, well, you choose to live that life. And I had like one of those Saturday, like, I'm going to give it to you. No, I wouldn't say that. But something called me to tell her. I had to call her out on her BS. And I was like, but you're choosing that. I want you to recognize that. And boy, did she let me have it. And she made, you know, and at first I felt bad. And at first I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that on a sales call. I lost the sale. And at that point I was like, I'm not getting your business, but someone needs to be honest with you, and you need to take action on that. I kid you not, Brittany, less than 24 hours, she messaged me on Facebook. She said, I am so sorry. She goes, the fact that I was triggered by that tells me I've got a lot of work to do. So just to sit and reflect, I knew it. I was like, I don't want that. But
well, you can't combat that. That's something that, again, they have to recognize, and until they're willing to let go of the blame, the complaining, and the justification, until they're willing to, again, let go of that anger or whatever around it, there's nothing that we can do to be able to help them. So we have about 1 more minute left. Is there anything specific that, you know, talking to those 3 points, is there, you know, something that people can do to help them let go of the blame, the justification, and the complaining?
Own the reality that you're in, accept where you're at, and then make that decision to push through.
Wow.
If you want money and you want to make it happen, you don't have to sacrifice for it. You just have to shift your reality. So how do you go about shifting your reality? How do you get out of poverty? How do you get out of, you know, growing up in the system or feeling like everyone's attacking you? You shift this first, and then this follows, right? That's about giving yourself that permission. How do I get my mind and my heart together on board so that I can start to change things around me, change my circle, change my circumstances, change where I live, and then change myself in that full person.
Wow.
there you go, you guys.
Oh my God, so amazing. I am totally in love with you, and I cannot wait to stay connected and follow you, because, you know, I mean, you have just had so many mic drop moments there, and, you know, it's scary. It's scary to have to take an honest look at ourselves, but until we're willing to do that, we can't go forward. So thank you so much for being open with your journey and being honest and, you know, being truthful, so that we can all, you know, be able to go forward. And I know we have a gift for you, a copy of our books that help you and help keep people bossing up.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
Well, you guys, this is what Living Real is all about, right? Like vulnerability, openness, willing to share your shit on national television, because women need to hear this. And this is why Claire and I, you know, created Living Real TV. So if you have any topics of your own that you would love to see us bring out for the next season, feel free to email us, and you can find us all over. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us, all of us, today for another powerful episode. We appreciate you watching, and we are looking looking forward to next time for sure. Until then, I'm Karissa Adkins.
And I'm Clara Capano.
And I want you to keep living real.